I'm Dr. Jordan Wiggins, and this is the Pleasure Principles podcast. Join me on this journey where sex, science, and sensuality meet. Let's change the conversation around sex and pleasure together. Hello. I am so excited to talk about this topic today. Sexual health re-education, vagina edition. A part of the reason why this is so important to me is that talking about vaginas, vulvas, it's a taboo topic. I dare say that if we polled everyone listening right now, how many of you have looked at your vulva ever in your life? How many of you know what it looks like down there? It's like down there, it's this taboo topic. We are scared of our own vulvas and vaginas. So is the media. And it's hard to even promote femtech products that talk about vulvas and vaginas. So very taboo, lengthy history as to why. You can find out more information in my book, The Pink Canary. And we're going to touch on a few of these topics today. Let's talk about vulva versus vagina. First of all, vulva is the external part that you can see. You cannot see the vagina. The vagina actually means sheath, which is like the part that covers the sword. The vagina is and I know, are you cringing right now? Because I am. We're talking about women's anatomy as it relates to men, and it's kind of crazy that that's how the vagina got named, but this is where we are. One update, one improvement that we can make is that when we are teaching our children anatomy, teaching our children what to call their body parts, that we teach them that the part that we can see is a vulva. Also teaching them accurate names for their body parts is very, very important. It protects against like sexual abuse, gives them agency, and they're more likely to say yes and no to things that they like or don't like when they have been taught the proper name for their body parts. So short recap. Vulva is the external part that you can see. You cannot see your vagina unless you have x-ray vision because it is internal. So most of us have been calling it the wrong name for our whole lives. We've been taught wrong. But today, I want to talk about the 3 most common questions that I get asked about vulvas and vaginas. Question number 1, do I look normal? So in my medical practice, if I am doing a vaginal exam or a PAP, I always get the question, do I look normal? The short answer is yes. But I do want to talk about a few things. First of all, plastic surgeries called labiaplasties, where women are actually getting their vulvas, their labia surgically altered or cut off, are on the rise. So this is an increasing surgery because women are taught that their vulva should look unrealistic. So first of all, we're taught that vulvas should have no color. So bleaching vulvas is a common practice, especially in the porn industry. Labia, that there's a difference between like innies and outies. Some women you can see their labia externally, some women you cannot. One is not different than the other. It is just the way we are born. So with many different colors, textures, shades of labia, as well as whether they are internal or external, it is completely normal. It would be like thinking something's wrong with a man if he has one testicle bigger than the other. It's just anatomy. Nothing we can do about it. We shouldn't attach blame or make women feel bad about it and make us buy unnecessary products or have unnecessary surgeries that might leave us with pelvic pain afterwards. So more resources on this in my book, The Pink Canary. You are normal. Every vulva is different, and every vulva is beautiful exactly the way it is. Question number 2 that I always get is, what about STIs? I want to tell you a story. A Pleasure Principles member of mine, when we were working through the program, she mentioned that she got an STI about 20 years ago and still carried shame about this to this day. And it was significantly impacting libido and her ability to get turned on and be sexual because she still felt so dirty from contracting that STI in her teens. This is amazing to me because do we shame people for getting colds? An STI is like a cold for your vagina, vulva, penis. And people have sex. Yes, we should practice safe sex, and we can have an entire discussion about that. However, we somehow shame people for getting an STI, but we don't shame them for getting a cold, both of which are like viruses or bacteria transmitted, but we think pneumonia is fine, but an STI is not. So it's just another way that we have been conditioned. Sex is bad, pleasure is bad, and I'm really kind of over it. I think we should normalize STI testing. In fact, I took myself and my entire team to the sexual health clinic to get tested. This is something that should be normalized, even if you are in a long-term relationship. Sometimes things are latent. Oftentimes we know, we don't like to say this, but heaven forbid I'm going there. Cheating is universally condemned and it is universally practiced. When we look at stats for cheating, they're up there. I think it's like 1 in 2 relationships, and that's what people are admitting. So another chat to come about ethical non-monogamy. My point being, we should normalize getting frequent STI testing if we are sexually active, partnered or unpartnered. It is something that we should be doing for our health, the health of our partners, the health of our future partners. And again, the shame around that stops us from doing what is healthier for us. I want to make a quick note here on BV, which bacterial vaginosis is also somewhat common, and there's a ton of shame around this. And we can change the pH with our increased number of sexual partners, which gives us an increased chance of contracting BV. There's a lot of treatment options, a lot of natural treatment options that work amazingly well. There is something that so many women live in shame, just like the shame of an STI or the shame that you think that your vulva doesn't look how it should look. And women suffer in silence. They suffer thinking that they have to live with BV or chronic yeast infections, and I am here to tell you that that is not the case. Reach out to me, reach out to my team. We're going to get some solutions for you if you have any type of chronic infection or sexually transmitted infection, because there are a ton of treatment options available to you. Question number 3 about vaginal health. Shaving, waxing. What should I do? What I would like to normalize is doing what makes you feel good. So oftentimes, just like we feel pressured to not have our vulvas smell a certain way or look a certain way. We also feel pressured about needing to be completely bare or something, and then it's painful, it's expensive, it's time consuming. Do we see men lining up to do all of these maintenance things that we do or invest the amount of time and money in it? Oftentimes not. They are more okay with how things are naturally. So we should be doing with our pubic hair what we like. And if we have so much societal conditioning about what we think we should do, oftentimes women that I work with, I'm giving them the pleasure research of maybe grow it out, see how that feels. One of my mentors gave me that advice a long time ago. And my point being, don't just do what you think you need to do with your pubic hair, meaning that you have to get waxed or hair removal or something. Not the case. We should be doing what we like. And if you've been waxing or shaving and battling ingrowns, maybe it's time to change it up. Try something different. See how you like it. So my homework would be to grow it out and see how that feels after a month or two. Pubic hair actually has protection against STIs, and it has a natural aphrodisiac. Like the pheromones that it produces are actually arousing to partners. So when we're waxing that all off, might not actually be what we're doing or what we're trying to increase pleasure, but we might actually be doing the opposite. So have a conversation with your partner. What do you want? Let's mix it up. Let's try something new and see how that goes. And if you still like waxing, then get a wax. But my point is, don't let society or the porn industry tell you what to do with your own body. So remember, you are not broken. What you have been taught is, and it is ruining your libido. It is keeping you away from the connected relationships, the intimacy, the orgasms, the success that you know you can have. We're spending way too much time worrying about what other people think. And we should be accepting our bodies for the beauty that it is. Have a great week, everybody. If you like what you heard in this episode, leave me a rating. Your support helps me get discovered by more women like you. Together, we can change the conversation around women's sexual health and pleasure for you, your partners, and generations to come.